Hello everybody, Houston here. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. And we are going to cover a lot of things here today. And yeah, this is going to be a long video. And first things first, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends. We are exchanging here, right? My knowledge for your time, and we know there's no free lunch out there. So we grow together. Let's go. So the first thing that we look when we are talking about the sun and the sun cycles against the markets and also the human behavior, it's the number of sunspots. Okay, so as you guys can see here, all these red dots here in the sun are sunspots. Okay, so it's for example, when we are in maximus solaris or solar max or solar maximum, it's the period when the sun is having a lot of uh, activity. Okay, so the higher the number of sunspots, the warmer will be the days. Okay, and for the other side, when we have minimus solaris or solar minimum, it's a period when we have a low solar activity. Okay, so here it's a spotless sun, and here is the sun full of spots. Okay, and such things happen in cycles. Okay, I'm going to show you a peak so you have a better idea. Just give me a second. Okay, so how does it works? When first, we always have the maximum solaris first. That's when the next cycle start. Okay, so it's a period when we go from 0 sunspots all the way to the max number of sunspots. Okay, and this period is called maximus solaris or solaris max. It depends on your language. Okay, so here we went from 0 all the way to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 120, 150. It's up to the sun. Okay, there is ways to predict the max number of sunspots, but that's not we are looking here for. Okay, and so for minimum solaris, first we have the ascending, which is the maximum solaris, the next cycle, the beginning of the next cycle. And when we reach the apex and then it's over, we start the period for minimus solaris, when the solar activity decreases, which means, let's say we reached 150 sunspots here. So we are going down from 150 all the way to 0. Okay, and it is true that we can have multiple 0 scenarios. For example, 0, 15, 0, 12, 0, 8, and 0 before going up. Okay, and so we have two schools. That's what I learned about it back in the day. I'm doing this since 2008, but I didn't start it with the markets. I started my research about other events that was also related to this. And what I was talking about, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, so a second. Okay, so here I'm going to show you something else as well. Well, there's a lot of things here to cover. About the sun cycle, it's the average is around 11 years and 12 years. Okay, and so which means the full cycle. Okay, and let me see if I have another picture here about the full cycle. How does it work? Just a second. So this one here is it's an example of a full cycle. We had one that that began. Let me check here in my schedule. So from 1997, it begins on 96. So the beginning of this cycle here, cycle 23, if I'm not wrong, 23, 24, yes. So this one began on 96, and as you guys can see, the number of sunspots grow in Maximus Solaris all the way to the apex, and then the sunspots starts to fade all the way to 0. And this period is called Minimus Solaris or Solaris Minimum, okay? And so it goes back and forth all the time, it doesn't change, okay? So first things first, before jumping into the example, this site here, spaceweatherlive.com, it's a tool that you guys will enjoy. You will also find a lot of info here. So the things that we track in the Champions Club, it's the number of sunspots. Okay, as you guys can see right now, it's at 0. And also the solar radial flux, it's a little below it's like essential level that was around 70, 71, 72. So there's a very low solar activity right now. And if I'm not wrong, the scientists from NOAA and NASA were calling for the beginning of this cycle around June and September now, this year, okay? And the thing that I was going to show you, just a second. There's a lot of pictures here. Okay, I eventually will remember that there's a lot of things here. So let's jump into an example for the correlation here. I posted this research here last year, but twice, 2019 and the beginning of this year. And the thing here is the red lines are the number of sunspots, okay? And each one here, from the bottom to the top, it's a cycle, full cycle, okay? And as you guys can see, let's start here from the 17th. And the first event that we had in this Minimus Solaris here on A, it's an economic crash on Amsterdam, Germany, and Scandinavia. Okay, so as you guys can see, we topped it out for Solaris Apex, and then we had those crises. And then on B, another, right after the top for Maximus Solaris. Economic crash, Indian Bengal bubble. Okay, this one is very popular. Was before the 1800s. And here on C, as you guys can see, this one was following the Minimus Solaris. Okay, so this was a twice big event on Minimus Solaris, which was London and Amsterdam economic crash. Okay, and then we had the big run for the next cycle, and here in the bottom we had the American Revolutionary War, okay, and right after, on the start of the beginning of the Minimus Solaris, we had the French Revolution, okay. So why did we had one here and another one here? So we had one in the Maximus period and one in the Minimus period, okay. As you guys can see, some of those events are like it's like a schedule based in the solar cycle, okay, so solar activity. And we also know, this is nothing new in history, that back in the day, in ancient times, they chose such periods to make war on their enemies, Okay, so there's a big difference when you start a war and when you are defending against an enemy, because when you have the initiative, when you are ahead, you had a lot of things at your favor. So but this is just another thing. And then here the next event that we had was on F. Panic on Britain and also United States, and this one here was just like the one we are having now and also the one we have in 2008. Okay, right before the dip, before the next cycle. Okay, and then the next one, G, US recession with bank failures. So you guys can see there's a pattern here. Okay, this is nothing. So it's not random events. That's no chaos. Okay, those things happens by design. Okay, so right after, on top of Maximus Solaris, near the apex, British recession with bank failures. For I, US recession with bank failures, 5 years deep. Take a look, all this period here, from a long run on the Maximus Solaris. And then the next one for G, collapse of British financial markets. Again, L, collapse of British financial markets. Oh, sorry, international financial downturn. Next one for Minimus, L, international financial downturn. For M, long depression British United States, right after the Solaris, Apex Solaris. Okay. Next one, World War One. Okay, I forgot where it is, and oh no, oh sorry, it's here. So as you guys can see, the First World War took place on the beginning of the next cycle in the 1920, and just like the previous war driven by the Americans. Okay, so those things again are not handled. Okay, so the next one, Great Depression. Take a look here. And the next one for the Maximus Solaris on P, New Deal. This was the let me see. Okay, so World War II. So this we saw a lot of things happening before the World War II. We had a lot of problems on the Europe, and not on Europe only. And then, so right here for World War II, take a look when it started on Minimus Solaris. And then for R, Korean War, Vietnam War. And then, so this was also a fight against communism, because as you guys know, communism were advancing on Europe, Asia, Africa, and well, I'm not going to share my opinion here. My opinion is irrelevant, but if some days you guys want to have a talk, we can have it. So this one here, this one I can talk about it for reasons that you guys already know. So this one was Operation Chaos. Okay, but feel free to research about it, and you will understand what is happening today. Okay, so that's like I say, always understand previous history to know what's happening in our future, our present. Okay, and so energy crisis, early recession, which is on you here, dot-com bubble. Well, this one is classic. I covered it many times, and I'm going to show you more about it. The next one, Afghanistan, Iraq war, same thing. For X, economic crash, US house bubble, right after. This one is for 2008. As you guys can see, in a period with low solar activity. The next one, China stock crash, and also the European crisis. And following this research here, I'm going to show you something else. Just a second. Let me find it because I have a lot of things here. Okay, I posted this one on Twitter as well. As you guys can see, this was from 2007 to 2008. This was a minimus solaris period, as you guys can see here, decreasing solar activity, which means lower sunspots. And so here, 2008, lowest point of solar activity. 2008, global economic crash. Okay, and then we had the next cycle, that was cycle 24, which was amazing, big gains for almost everything, right? And then what we had here in 2020, we had a economic bubble that we know that's a fact, so this is not my opinion at all. And before the C19 event, everything was on the top, soaring. Okay, Dow Jones, SPX, Nasdaq, all the other stocks around the world. Also crypto. We also had some tops for forex, also palladium. Well, you guys name it. Don't take my word. Open your chart and you will see everything is there. Okay, and so we had this event, and then it was in the minimus solaris that we had two. The first one was in October last year, 2019, and then we had another one this year. Okay, if I'm not wrong, 1 month ago. And also, if you look back here, before 1996, let's take a look here. If I highlighted something, yes, that was 40, if I'm not wrong. No. 880, 1996. Okay, so I didn't highlight anyone before, but you can find it all the info about it on Google. Okay. And so another thing that I highlighted here is Maximus Solaris, prosperity, growth, Minimus Solaris, economic crisis, conflicts, wars, like pandemic events. So as I said, this is done by design. Okay, this is my opinion. When I say this is made by design. Okay, all the other things are not my opinion, are facts. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yes, so for this site here, spaceweatherlive.com, you guys can go here on solar activity. You can go to solar cycle. Yes. And here you can do this. Just a second. Okay, so what do we have? I can zoom in, okay, but you guys can check it later. So as you guys can see here, before 2020, we had a small spike before a zero period of solar activity, okay? And back in the day, I shared a pic on Twitter, which I was talking about. Just a second, I'm looking for the picture here. When I was talking about a possible reversal for cycle 24 to cycle 25. Let me find it here. There's so many things. And then I highlighted this event with a picture that I showed on Twitter 2 times, if I'm not wrong. Just a second. Hold on. Okay, here it is. As you guys can see, I shared this one here on Twitter, and this one was the first sunspots that we had, in the cycle 25 region in the Sun. Okay, so this was the first sign that we had about the beginning of cycle 25. Okay, so it's not like when we are wrong and when we are right, because such things, for you guys to have an idea, the scientists, they use like a period of 6, maybe 3, 6 and 9 months for their forecasts. Okay, and I have another one here. To be honest, I have multiple ones here. So before showing you the other ones, I'm going to show you some for events that I showed you in the black chart, the black research. As you guys can see here, World War II, Maximus Solaris, apex, on May 1937. Right after, we know, okay, that September, it's also known as the harvest season. Okay, remember, harvest season, and we are not talking only about the field harvest. Okay, I can say the proper word, but I believe you guys figured it out. Okay, so war, harvest season. Okay, so the war ended around May 45 in Europe, and then it followed a little more in Asia, if I'm not wrong. Okay, yes, because we know that Japan surrendered a few months after. Okay, and so we had another one here. Okay, so this one we saw already too. United Kingdom recession on the 80. Just a second, please. Okay, let's go. So we had the Solaris apex, and right after we had the recession inside the Minimus Solaris period. Okay, and let me see if I have another one here, which I believe I have. There's so much stuff here, you guys have no idea. Okay, so this one is another example on how the things play out on the Maximus Solaris period of time, and this one is for the Minimus Solaris. And so as you guys can see, Maximus Solaris for growth, and the seasons, it's a research that I am making about, it's called the seasons pivot. Okay, so I already used it on crypto, and is very I forgot the word, sorry. It's it mats. Okay, we have mats, multiple mats. So we have positive data and occurrences for this theory that I'm working here. Okay, and so as you guys can see, for minimus we have decreasing in growth. Okay, so it's like a period of correction. And so okay, so here back to the sun, you guys can check again. So solar activity, solar cycle, and this forecast here, they are predicting 115 sunspots for the next cycle, which, if you look, we have a downtrend in the sun. I'm going to show you another chart so you can have a better idea. So I like this one. This one is called the Wolf method. Okay, and as you guys can see, we are having what? Lower highs. Okay, so if this was a chart, for example, Amazon, gold, or Bitcoin, doesn't matter, we know it would be a bearish scenario. Okay, but this is a talk for another time. Okay, so this is the prediction for flux, and this one is for the solar number of sunspots only. So this one was the one that I used for the 2008 and 2020 events that you just saw. And here is the number of flares and sunspots, okay? We can go back here to check the previous ones, but we had a spike of 35 sunspots here on 30 April. This one, I was talking about this one when we entered in the spring, okay? Okay, so this is also important, spotless days, okay? So this is the number of days without a single sunspot, okay? And as you guys can see, we still have a decreasing, which means we are not ready yet, okay? But here, before the next cycle, that started on 2008. Okay, so for cycle 24, that was here, we started on December 2008. Okay, so as you guys can see, the number of spotless days starts to go down. And then we went for 2016, if I'm not wrong. I have to check this data. I don't have it ready here. And moving forward, so for this site here, it's whatsupwiththat.com. It's an amazing site. So as you guys can see here, they made a call. Solar cycle 25 has started on April 22. And this is how it works, folks. When we reach the lowest point of solar activity, the next cycle begin. And we have a lot of more data here. You guys can check it for yourself. It's a very, very amazing site. They do a great job here. When I was talking about a trend in the sun, if we look back in the 80s, 18th century, we had like an uptrend, and since that highest point before the 1960, we are having this downtrend in the sun, okay? And some people are calling it a mini ice age. Okay, I'm not going to tell you to trust what I say or follow my opinion, but okay, so it's not important, but I don't believe this is a mini ice age period, okay? They describe it like a little ice age here. I don't believe we're going to face the same thing here, but even if we do, the rules for the market are not going to change, okay? And also for wars and etc, etc, so it doesn't matter. And so this one here, you guys will like it. It's newquayweather.com. When we have a lot of records for the sunspots, as you guys can see here, since for the 17th century or 18th century, and you can track by the years here on this column. So for example, let's take a look on 2008. Oh, I wish a picture. I hope we, okay, so here it is. As you guys can see, we had that decrease in the sunspot numbers before we could go, okay, so not this one, sorry, it's 2008. Okay, yes. So from 2007 to so from 2000 to 2008, we had this minimum Solaris period, as you guys can see here, a decreasing in the solar activity before we had, not this one, Yes, as you guys can see here, this is from the beginning of 2009, and right after the solar activity start to increase. And what happened with the markets in 2009? We start to have a big run, right? And I'm going to show you right now some of my charts. Okay, so let's start with Amazon. So here we had the Solaris Apex. This is Amazon, okay. The red area is Maximus Solaris, and the blue it stands for minimum or minimus. And then so right here we had this one here was very similar, okay. Let me show you in the other chart as well for you guys having a better idea of what happened. Okay, I believe this is one. So each line is a sun cycle, okay, and the one we are looking for right now is the red one. Okay, as you guys can see here, in technical analysis we can call it somewhat a double top or a marginal higher high here. Okay, have this in mind. And what did we had here? A double top after a marginal higher high. Amazing stuff, right? Our previous top, marginal higher high stop before the crash. And now we look back, a crash. Okay, so now let's jump into the next chart, which stands for the continuation for 2009, which is, yes, this one right here. So this was the previous chart that I showed you that ends here, and we were only able to make a higher high or a new high, break the previous high right after the next cycle. I mean, not after, but at the beginning of the next cycle that starts with Maximus Solaris. Right here, folks. This was the end of the lower number of solar activity. Right after, right happened, right? Oh, sorry. So right after what happened? New highs. An amazing bull run for stock markets. And also another key thing here for a better understanding of things that's happening today. I remember back here people saying this is it, Amazon is done, it's going nowhere, they are going to crash, it's going to zero, nobody's going to buy things online. And this, folks, this kind of bearish mindset happens very often in a lot of people during this period of time, which is Minimus Solaris. People get frustrated, depressed, they lost hope, they don't believe, they just give up, they move to something else, they stop their projects. That's the period of time for such things. And if you are able to acknowledge this in your life, you can change your life forever. Okay, and I'm going to show you another thing here. Is this one? Okay, so this one is very popular, right? People talk about this and do prediction about this, and I'm going to show you something here. Try to follow me, okay? We are going to start here on the left. What's the first thing that we have in the beginning of just a second? Okay, sorry, let's go. So the first thing that we have in the beginning of Maximus Solaris, sorry, hope, and then optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. So all those things here is related with what? Joy, happiness, growth, expansion, making projects, start something else, crafting or building a new house or buying stuff, making trips or travel. You guys can see this relates to our sun cycle. And let me give you another hint here for that period. Let me see if I have it. Okay, let's use the wolf again. So here, can you guys see here? We were talking about 2009, right? 2009 for Maximus Solaris. Sorry, my throat's killing me. And here, this was the beginning of Sun Cycle 24. Can you guys see it? Amazing stuff, right? Okay, so now let's take a look in another. So this one here again. In technical analysis, if we take this chart as an asset chart, so for example here, we had the same scenario or almost the same. I can prove it to you. So this was like the crypto bull run in 2017 since 2015. And this is a loser's rally or a dead cat bounce, okay? And then we start from lower highs and higher lows, okay? And also another thing here about Minimus Solaris. Take a look on the feelings: complacence, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, depression, before disbelief. And have this one here in mind, this belief, okay? This belief made a higher low against the previous highs, okay? Let me find the chart here, just give me a second. Okay, so this one is not the best one, I have a much better. As you guys can see, remember, loser's rally ending up in a lower high or dead cat bounce. Then we had this midway, which I call the battle of midway structure, that is bearish and lead to what? Bearish continuation. That we had it, right? So here we had one new low, two new lows, and three new lows, okay? And now when we go back here, it's not this one, give me a second. Okay, here it is. What we had after panic, or after the battle of midway: one new low, the second new low, and the third new low. Just a second, there's a lot of pictures here. Okay, so battle of midway, bearish continuation. First low, second low, new low, right? Because it's a new low compared with the previous one. New low, lower low, lower low, and another lower low. And right after what we had, let's take a look back, disbelief rally. And what did disbelief rally craft? A new high compared with the previous one. And here, so this structure here, outside the Minimus Solaris period that I highlighted here, it's a bullish continuation pattern, which was shared by a pro trader back in the day. I was not tracking gold back in the day, but this guy was, okay? And so what we end up with, a bull break from a bullish continuation pattern, following the same market behavior that we are following for ages, okay? This never changes. Just a second, please. Okay, let's go. So let me see here. I believe I have a better one or another one, because as you guys know, I made multiple results. It's not based on a single chart only. Okay, so this one here was the one I highlighted before from the dot-com bubble. So the red line, the one we are watching here, is cycle 23. And as you guys can see, that was the one for the Amazon that we were looking for. A perfect correlation. Dot-com bubble, right after Solaris Apex. And okay, so let me see. So this site here, if you like things more, if you like data, this site is the solin.info slash solarindex.html. Okay, I don't use this one often. I prefer these other ones here. You can also find more info for NOAA and also from NASA, but I don't trust NASA data. Okay, but just this is my 50 cents. And let me see, I have more things here to show you, which have one. Oh, okay, so this one is amazing. Hold your hats, give me a second. Yes. So guys, this one here stands for the Great Depression, 29. And as you guys can see, here we have a better example. Just a second. Okay, yes. So from Maximus Solaris, this was cycle 16, okay? We had all this growth. That's a lot of points, okay? We are talking about from 70 points all the way to 220, and even more around the 300, 400 range, okay? And maybe you will say, well, but we made the new highs in the minimum Solaris. Yes, that's true, but this is not the key to understand what happens in the minimum Solaris period of time, which this period of time, this event, is an event of correction to take out, to wipe out a period of harvest. And as you guys can see, the thing that we were looking for was new lows compared with the previous lows. Okay, and also the down theory doesn't take place here because this decline was around 70% or 80%, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I made all the, I checked all the numbers back in the day, and as you guys can see, the thing here is to wipe out previous gains before expansion. And as you guys know, since today we are at 25,000 points. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much is taken out from the market or wiped out, because markets are like life. What's the idea of life? You born, you grow, you live, we die. Markets, they born, they grow, they have corrections, like sometimes we have in some periods of our life, when we struggle, when we stop, when we can't keep going. It's the same thing, okay? And like I highlighted before, just a second here, so as you guys can see, right after the lowest period of solar activity, we entered in the next sun cycle, cycle 17, which leads us to new highs. Amazing stuff, right? And then a thing that I was talking about, we can measure, believe or not, we can measure life. Okay, I am making a research about it. I started from the pregnancy period of time, which is like 90% correct. Okay, so it's mind-blowing stuff. Okay, but for now, let's take a look on cycle 20. As you guys can see here, check the gains from 100, if I'm not wrong, all the way to almost 1000. And then check out here, we were not able to make new highs, right? But we made a lower low compared with the previous one, and then we kept chasing price. And here, guys, this one here, just a second. Okay, I'm matching this chart with my data here, so sometimes you see I'm making quick stops. And then here, if we retrace this period here, believe or not, folks, I'm not joking. I can measure Fibonacci without Fibonacci, okay, because I do it all day. So I'm used to it. This move here was a 80% attack on the previous high for Fibonacci, which is way aggressive, okay? But the thing is, when we just jumped into the minimum Solaris, we had a new low, and then the amazing recovery. Yes, we had a higher high here compared with the previous one, and amazing recovery, right? Okay, so things are back to normal. We are going to new highs, and that's it. The economy is booming. But no, what we had here was a very, very strong sell-off. Okay, and some people they use those guys here to make their technical analysis for future events. But I'm going to tell you this: it's not correlated. We are talking about a different period of time with different measures, with different numbers, and this whole structure here, guys, doesn't fit with the ones we have today. So when people chart these scenarios here, they are moving backwards. They will never be correct in their analysis. Okay, and so moving on, wiping out all the previous gains doesn't matter if it was here, was here, was here. A single blow to make the proper correction before continuation. Those events that we saw as depression, recession, economical crisis, global crisis, we have problems. It's just a way to tell the crowd what has to be done, or what is happening, in other words. Because imagine, people are happy, people are buying, people we are seeing gains, they are making a lot of money. And how do you explain that the market needs a correction and they have to wipe out all the gains from these people? They don't, right? That's the reason they address such events to handle things. But we know they are not random at all. All those things are made by design. They are not chaotic, they are not random. Not a single cent, not a single penny. Everything, every number, it's there by design. And I can prove it. Like I already did it back in the day. And most people don't care. Okay? But anyway. So right after, for maximum Solaris, what we had this the previous this was a double bottom, also in solar activity, and so this was bullish because we had a previous low and then a new low, double bottom. Here we had a inverted head and shoulders, which played out with 60% of the target. The main target, if I'm not wrong, was in 1060 points. Right after, megaphone structure, continuation, bullish continuation broken, higher low compared with the previous one. Here we had a retest to wipe out people who went in long too early, and as you guys can see, before the continuation they wipe out stops. Okay, so this is one of the reasons we don't use stop loss in our trading setup in the Champions Club. Okay, and so then we had a huge expansion. So now let's take a look in another one that I have here. Just a second, please. So we already saw Dow Jones, Amazon. Okay, so let's take a look on Apple. Back in the 8080. So as you guys can see here, we made a top 277% plus, and in the minimum Solaris cycle that we had a wipeout of 70%, which is way ahead the down theory. Okay, but such things above after down theory are the ones for like a bigger wipeout before continuation. Okay, because we know nothing keeps growing forever non-stop, and parabolic moves demands correction, so this is nothing new. And so here, just a second please, let me check my numbers. Okay, let's move forward. And then from minimum Solaris we had a new low, another new low, so lower low, and lower low, and then a double bottom with another two lower lows before making a new high. And here folks, we had a 1058% gains in this sun cycle here. Oh, sorry, this maximum Solaris cycle. And as you guys can see here, remember, this is a dead cat bounce, and also if we draw a Fibonacci here, if I'm not wrong, is a 61% attack, which is inside the golden mini. And then we had the dot-com bubble in minimum Solaris like we saw for Amazon. Okay, and again, this structure is the battle of midway before bearish continuation. This was a bearish structure, and then we had a broken mirror structure here, which made a new low compared with the previous one. And this event here, folks, it's the one before. Just a second, let me pick the picture here. Okay, that new low that we saw is this one here around depression before a higher high. This was our higher high compared with the previous ones that is above the battle of midway. Okay, so we draw a Fibonacci here, we are above the 50%, which leads to bullish continuation. We seek the average price before keep moving forward. And so we had a wipe here of 70%, 83%. So it doesn't matter how much gains are made. I'm going to draw something here to explain this, and also to blast some food that we are having out there. So a quick look here, because I'm going to draw here, so for you guys to understand. This is a trade that we made yesterday. This was our long for silver. Okay, so far it's looking amazing. Okay, I'm going to make a quick draw here, so for you guys to understand how it works. It doesn't matter. Let's pretend that this is zero. Okay, we had a run all the way to, let's say, 16,000 points, right? And let's say this is in Maximus Solaris. Right after, we are going to have Minimus Solaris, right? And here it doesn't matter how deep we will go. The major thing here that I never ever saw one of those smart guys out there talking about is this. The correction, the wipeout or the discount will never be higher than the previous profits. Because if you have a company, okay, you made $100 profit, and now you're going to make let's say a promotion, a event. You're looking for more clients, and you make a huge discount, let's say 85%. You can make much more. Why? Because you have to protect your 800. So you can even go to 95, which is the case for cryptocurrencies. But we never had 100% wipeouts. Okay, and here we are talking about decent projects, decent companies, legit business. Okay, you're not talking about bad business companies that bankrupt or are gone. Okay, we are talking about the ones due for progression, growth, expansion. Okay, and so we are in this period right here. I'm going to give you a live example. Okay, so let me see if I can use a better chart. Just give me a second, please. I'm trying to do this on the paint. Just a second. No, just a second, hold on. Okay, so I will do it here because I need the numbers like a grid. So this is market expansion, right? And here we have, let's say, a big bull run. So again, let's say it's 16,000, okay? And then we need a correction before continuation. Everything needs a correction. This is health. This is market balance. We need balance for everything, okay? And then what we end up with? A correction. So this is the loser's rally, which can also be taken as a bear flag, for example. And if we measure this guy here, this is a attack to the golden mean, or the 780%. Okay, so this is Fibonacci, and here is the battle of midway, which is bearish and leads to a bear break, and right after what we have, bullish progression and later continuation for new highs. And in this period of time here, we know it's a period of minimus solaris. And how people feel in this event. They feel complacence, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, disbelief, depression. And if we took everything that, for example, folks on crypto Twitter, okay, and some folks on YouTube as well, what they say. For example, there is a guy named Robbie Art or Roberto. It's a spoiled child. This guy is calling for something like this. He's calling for a retraction below the previous gains. So he's calling for 100 plus correction, which we never had. Never, ever, never. So, and this guy, believe it or not, He have like 20k followers. So we have 20k people eating his garbage, getting his mind polluted with what? Complacence, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, depression, disbelief. And these guys, uh, let me take out this thing here. I don't want his name in my stuff. This is just one example, okay guys? There is multiple there, multiple ones. So everything that we are seeing in this period here that we had last year for gold, for metals, platinum, palladium, silver, gold, people like Tony Weiss calling for gold to trade below 1000. Can you believe it? Yes, they were calling for new lows on gold. So actually, those people have no idea, zero. They are clueless about such things. That's why they keep being emotional and not logical. This is about math. This is like a science. There is no space for emotions, for feelings, for broken hearts. There is not. People who are emotional in markets will be kicked out. Always. So, we will never end up with 100% loss because the market move in cycles. Like I just give you the example here. So another example, previous one, bang, previous one, bang. And here, as you guys can see, we will always defend the previous gains. Otherwise, we can have eternal bear markets. We won't have a society, we won't have economy, we won't have progression, growth. That's not how it works, folks. And I challenge anyone to show me with data and numbers that I am wrong. I challenge anyone. Okay, so this example given. Here, also, if we measure this guy here from this guy here, what we end up with? A dip below the 50% for Fibonacci and a attack on 6 to 1, which is the one of the golden rules for market progression. Healthy retrace to the golden meaning before bullish continuation. I already give you examples about this in my previous videos, in my technical analysis as well, and also in my results that I'm sharing on Twitter, and most people don't care. But they want to know about price, right? But they don't care about reading and understanding. So that's a thing that leads me to frustration, but okay, let's move forward. Just an example on how it works, and I'm going to make a video about these things that I just show you here, and I am going to blast these guys for once, okay? Because you guys know I don't like claptraps, wrongdoers, this kind of people. Okay, so moving forward, we have more stuff here to cover. Let me take a look. Dow Jones, we already saw. Psychology of market cycles. Yes. Okay, so let's try to make a double cover here. Just give me a second. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's use this one here. Just for the sake of this, oops, the example. Just 1 second of your time, please. Come on. Okay, so I think that I want you guys to focus here is this. Sorry. This move here, all the way up, it's the same move here from 0 all the way up. Okay, and here we can use this one here for the Great Depression, for British Depression, for 2008 bubble, for 2000.com bubble, you name it. And also we can use for crypto, that a thing that they call bubble for crypto. It's funny because we had the numbers that give the trigger for later bullish continuation. So it's not a bubble at all. This is a talk for people to understand why they are losing their money. Okay, don't take my word for it. Do your research, find the numbers, they are all there, okay? And you will understand what I'm trying to show you here, okay? So, again, what are the human feelings in Maximus Solaris? So this is a period where the days are hot, are more the temperature rises. Okay, so for me, I love the summer. I love warm days, and I don't like the winter. Okay, and what we feel: hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. That's amazing feelings, but they also carry a bad side when it comes to investing and trading, because everyone who do things based on emotion, they will lose everything, or at least a portion of what they have or what they made. Okay, and as you guys can see here, the disbelief stage, that's when they call for new lows, and this is it, this is a sucker's rally, it doesn't matter, I'm out, this is done. You guys can see here, this low here, this little guy here, constitutes a higher low compared with all the previous ones, which leads us to the next bull run or bull cycle, or in other words that are not used in mainstream media, expansion, growth. Okay, and so folks, I believe this is it for here. Okay, and we have word here, point of maximum financial opportunity, which we know it is around specific levels that we have all the measures, we have all the numbers. Okay, for people who are in the Champions Club and is watching this video, you guys know we have all the numbers there, the charts, the lines for expansion, retraction, everything. Okay, so it's nothing new. I found it in May 2019. I tried to share this info with some people, and all of them turned their back to me, but no problem at all. I understand things like this are very, very hard to digest. Okay, but so let's go. Let's move forward here. I believe I have more data. Just a second. There's a few things more to cover. Okay, so this one I posted on Twitter as well. I'm not going to describe what this is. You guys can do your research. As you guys know, there are a lot of things that I can mention on social medias. But again, okay, so the everything that's up from the center, it's a period when the days are longer, so we have more solar activity, we have more light, and when we are below, we have longer nights. Okay, so it's like the battle where against light and the darkness. Okay, and also there is another more meanings here that I can talk about, but okay, let's go. So the lowest point in solar activity so far was around was right after the winter, which started to decrease around January and February, which was a few months before, a few weeks actually, before we entered the gate. As you guys can see here, March. And I made a lot of calls here. A lot. Also, we nailed a few bottoms here in stocks and in crypto also. Okay, but let's go. So February, global economic crash that I also highlighted back in, just give me a second. I have a full research here. Okay, as you guys can see, I posted this black swan on Feb 19, and we had the global crash just before, just a little after. And also I was working on these guys here. Just a second in case if you miss it. So this was the first one that I shared back in the day in December, but I started this research on the second week of December if I'm not wrong. Yes, December 18. Covered our targets all the way up, which we made it, and then I started to look for the bearish targets, which came a little after. And so my 50 cents bear break before 27 Monday, 35 days in range for the winter pivot. And after this post, we had a strong sell, which made a bearish recover above a key level that was triggered. And I mentioned this level back in the day. I said, by reaching this level, we are close to the big day. And which we had the big day. But let me see if I have the chart here. Just one more second, please. Okay, so this was this one right here. This level, 2080, 657, was my trigger here. So I was right on this time window. And then we made the new higher high, which was all the way bearish because we had a broken right after we had a broken mirror here. And then when so the trigger for the crash was here, 28657, and when we traded below, we were 100% right and confident that was the move that we were waiting for. Okay, so going March before spring lockdown. Okay, everything happening before we enter the gate and before the next sun cycle to begin. Okay, so step 1, to reopen economy. We are working on it. Step 2, to reopen economy before or around the summer solstice, which is around the feast is from June 19 and if I'm not wrong, June 23. Okay, and so also the Bilderberg meeting was postponed. We don't know where it will happen, but okay, let's keep moving. Let me take a look here. We have more. Also, this one here is again. This was a research I made back in the day. So this one here is the one that I showed you in the last picture, but with more data, and I'm going to break it down for you. Occurrence of new sun cycles by the respective months. Okay, so here we have each single month, right, of the year, and then here I made the breakdown on how many new sun cycles we had on each month. Okay, so let's start from the okay, so let's start from Libra, and then so this is September. Okay, so we had the 3 here, 0 for Scorpio, 0 for Sagittarius, 2 for Capricorn, 1 for Aquarius, 1 for Pisces, 1 for Aries, 5. Oh, so here guys, when we enter the gate, when we leave the darkness and we went into the light, 1 for Aries, 5 for Taurus, 3 for Gemini, 3 for Cancer, 2 for Leo, and 3 for Virgo. And we make a quick math here. It's 3, 2, 5, 6, 7 for the darkness, like the shadow gate, okay? And here we have 1, 6, 9, 12, 14, 17. So we had 7 occurrences in the lower arc, 7 occurs in the lower arc, and 17 occurrences in the upper arc. Okay, and so what we are expecting, also the scientists said, the new sun cycle, I don't believe the new is the proper word, but the next sun cycle is due to happen around Gemini. Yes, yes, around Gemini, Cancer, and late on Virgo. Okay, oh, not Virgo, sorry, it's on Libra. So from Gemini to Libra, it's when the next sun cycle is going to begin by effect, without any more delay or any new low in activity to go back again to zero. And then, and here I have all the numbers. You guys can pause, print, and save all this data for your research. And so here, okay, another interesting thing here, 6 started at the strength point, which is around Gemini and Cancer, that you guys can see here. That's very, very significant. And 5 out of those 6 was in Taurus, which I already highlighted many times before. The bulls arrive around May, right after the spring. And why? One of the reasons, the sun crosses the constellation of Taurus, especially around Aldebaran and the 7 Pleiades, which is very, very significant as well. I already mentioned this many times before, but most people doesn't care. Okay, so most people won't understand. Okay, so let's move forward. Let me see what else of research I have here that I can show you. For obvious reasons, I can't show everything. Okay, so this one here was, it's just a different way to look at the arc. Okay, so this is the upper arc and this is the lower arc. As you guys can see, it's like a period of life and a period of death. Okay, and when, remember, what we have in solar Maximus Solaris, we have growth. And what we have in Minimus Solaris, we have harvest, decrease, low activity. So I forgot the word, this is singularity. Well, I forgot right now. So this is also related with vortex math, Tesla research, not the young Tesla, but the old Tesla, the big deal. And let me see what else I have here. Just a second, guys. I know there is a lot of stuff. Let's take some breath. Just one more second. Okay, here I shared this one as well in the past. Excuse me. And so here, Amazon. So this is not the whole chart, okay? This is just a fraction of the numbers they want to show. They don't disclose the full numbers, okay? Because this is public info. But whatever, let's go. Percentage decline, 90.7%. And was this able to kill Amazon? Not at all, because it's way below the 100, 1.3% below the 100, which was that example that I gave you. We never make make 100% retrace back to the previous cycle, because this is market growth expansion. This doesn't happen. Okay, so this example is for companies that are still in the market today. Okay, so this is nothing new in history. And here, Cisco 86.5, Corning, I don't know which one this is. Uniphase, I never saw it before. Also, I have no idea about this one. Lucent Technologies, yes. Back in the day, I had a lot of. I was engaged in a few of their projects, their products. Sorry. Nortel Networks, I never heard about. Priceline also, but Yahoo, yes, I was very familiar with Yahoo back in the day. And as you guys can see, what we have in common here? Not a single 100% retrace, which all these numbers here, the thing here around these numbers is to share emotions, to trigger your emotions. So you will be concerned. You will say, whoa, this is the end. Oh, it's going to break. Yeah, it's going to zero. It's going to 1 cent. It's going. It's like calling Bitcoin to $500, XRP $1, Ethereum $5. It's not going to happen, folks. This is not going to happen. That's not how it works. Okay. And again, not a single one to 100. Not even later, not even today, not even close. Okay, so they wipe the gains, trigger emotions, fear, doubt in people, and people who know, who have access to the proper tools that we have, they know that this thing here was actually a call for the bulls. And a call for the bulls is not a call for the average Joe. Okay? So let's keep going. Let me change this one. Oh, sorry. I'm tracking a lot of coins here. Just give me a second. Okay. So, there is another thing also. This research that I'm making, it's not something new. Okay, because people before me already made such things, but my research is not based on top of their research, because I hate when people stole my stuff. So I don't steal other people's stuff. Okay, this was shared by a friend, and I had the knowledge of this. Was posted back in 2000, and I started my research, like I said before in the beginning, I started my research in 2008, but not for the correlation with the markets. I came to found it around 2008, 2019, which was when I started to craft my charts and doing my own research. Okay, so I tried to cover the things in a different way, but in any moment I used their data for my own charts. Okay, and don't take my word for it. You can check all my research and compare with the others' research. It's not even close. Okay, moving forward, let's go. Let me see if there is another thing here that I'm missing. Just one more second. Let me see if there is something I'm missing. No, guys, I believe I'm not missing anything here from the things that I can share. Oh, okay, there's an interesting thing here that I want to show you. Just a second, please. I'm not showing you this because it's about Ripple and XRP. It's not about this. This is a research that I making on top of everything that has the same dates correlated. Okay, I can tell you why, but you guys can use the numbers for your research. Okay, so let's go. Uh, from 2019 to 2030, it will be the end of the cycle 25. That's the one we are about to enter. Okay, and here 2019 was its pre-cycle 25, which also 2 plus 5 equals 7 in numerology. Very significant number as well. Okay, have this in mind. So, before the next sun cycle to begin, adoption, first fiat IOP connectors are launched. And we know that crypto was a experience, okay? Because most crypto won't stay in the market. It was a lab. So 2020 growth, okay? And that, do you guys remember the folder of the Economist? Check out the cover. So 2020, there's a yes here, right? Growth. Number of use cases grows. 2030. Oh, okay, another thing here, in between both 2020 and 2030, we have 2025, right? Which will be the end of Maximus Solaris. Have this in mind, okay? And then 2030 will be the beginning or the pre-new sun cycle. That will be 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8. And that's a very significant number as well, because a big global move will take place that I can mention here in the video for reasons you guys know. But yeah, so let's go. So maturity. Interledger drives most commerce. Folks, do you remember okay, so I'm not going to be partial here. Take a look on my previous videos on YouTube. Take a look and you will understand what this is about. Also for Ripple, XRP, and also for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and a few other coins, projects as well, and also for stocks and Forex. I already showed almost everything, but almost everybody is not looking for it. Okay, people, it's like searching for opium, moon, Lambos, and I'm not this guy. I'm not your guy if you're looking for such things. Let me see if I have another one here, which I believe I have. Just one more second of your precious time. Where is that? Oh, we had this one also. US economy to reopen in May and June, and then really bounce back. Munching says, but others are thinking fall. So here, guys, we have one contrarian info here and one info for the masses. Okay, so watch out. I already shared this and talked about this on Twitter as well. And okay, I believe this is it. Yes, this one here. So as you guys can see, this is not my forecast. I'm bringing it to you guys for a long time. So this is the forecast for the solar cycle 25, which we saw a little data about it before, if I'm not wrong, but okay, let's go. So we will have a peak of sunspot numbers around 115 plus 10 less 10 in July 2025. Solar cycle 24-25 minimum will occur in April, which is a fact. It took place by the end of March. Yes, if I'm not wrong, by the end of March. And these guys, this is an old chart, an old forecast. This is not new. Okay, and so for to start on 2020 with +6 or less 6 months. And if they are wrong here, very, very wrong, we are going to see this new cycle starting maybe around key 3 or key 4. Okay, but yes, we are very close. This is going to happen. And now let me show you. I believe I have a chart for crypto about the market correlation. I already showed you one for gold stocks. Let me see if I have another one for gold, a better one, which I believe I have it. Just one more second. Oh, okay, here it is. I have two. Okay, so first this one. So it's the correlation between sun cycles and markets. The first was stocks. Now let's take a quick look on Forex, okay? Because I tagged the Forex guys out there. And so, Minimus Solaris, we had this growth here, okay? It doesn't mean, like I said before, we are going to have 100% wipeouts. This is not market growth, okay? And we will never have 100% wipeouts, but big corrections in this period of time. So I highlighted the seasons theory here, and as you guys can see, we made the higher, always making higher lows, okay? Our Maximus Solaris period, which give us a huge run, non-stop. And then in the harvest season, we had the Solaris Apex. Oh, right after, sorry. But this was the harvest season. And then we had our lower high rejected around the golden mini. Dead cat bounce, bearish continuation, bearish targets, solar apex in our battle of midway, bearish structure that led to bearish continuation. So this was the Minimus Solaris. And by effect, it still is. Because we haven't left yet. This was my personal forecast, based on the lowest point of activity back in 2019. Okay, and so another thing here, despite all this bearish activity, you guys can see it crystal clear. Lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, another higher low compared with the previous one, higher low, and we are making higher lows ever since. And right now we are around just close to 1800. Okay, now let me show you the other one updated. Okay, so this was my personal forecast, like I just told you. So beginning of cycle 25, after exactly 10 years, but the average, like we talked about, is around the end of the 10 years and before the 12 years. Okay, so there's a like a 12 gap, a 12 gap inside a 12 period of 12 years. That's already also a very significant number, because 12 plus 12 plus 12 equals 36, which ends in 9. And 9 is the number that shifts the trends. But this is a topic for a later discussion. And so as you guys can see here, this is the gold spot for Oanda. If you want more data, you can use the ICE chart, okay? And now let's take a look on crypto. Let me see if I had the chart. I have one, but it's a bit mess. Was the first one that I made. This one is for Bitcoin. As you guys can see, despite all the corrections, big corrections, okay, so you guys can pause the video later and take print. So a quick look here. Despite all the big corrections that are necessary and welcome, because the bulls are also bears and the bears are also bulls. Have this in mind, at least for professional traders. And so low, higher, 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 low, and then we had another higher low here. And we are looking for the next one before our next bull run continuation. And so as you guys can see, all the corrections, they never wipe out 100% of the gains, which means attacking the previous levels. You see this one here on 3,881 didn't have even closer to the previous one. Okay, and I already proved all the math behind all those numbers. Believe me, I already shared everything in the Champions Club and a little on Twitter. Okay, and so I believe this is it for now, guys. I believe I covered a lot of things. I have to check my trades and my charts, and I also have to update the Champions Club. I believe this video is a bit longer than they expected. Yes, almost 2 hours. Oh my god. Sorry guys, sorry. That took a long time. Sorry, very sorry. But you know, it's a thing for later research, and I am also documenting everything because you guys know I was looking to write a book about everything here. But I am going to have a very low chance of doing so, and maybe I will do it by myself on my own. Okay, so let me take a look on the chat. Just give me a second, please. Okay, so Abdul, hello my friend. Leon, hello Leon, how are you doing? High Resonance, hello, thank you, you're welcome my friend. John, interesting, very interesting, indeed. Abdul, are you saying that what I think you are saying? Well, maybe. Future boy, hello my friend. Really enjoy hear you talking. Oh, thank you, you are very welcome. Blasta, good, I'm not disappointed. I'm not also. Abdul, no BTC bull market? Yeah, yes, we are in a bull market for crypto, for forex, for stocks. Despite the correction, the bull run never stopped. Never, ever. Okay? No way. Thanks for sharing this resource. You are very welcome, my friend. Jesus, gracias por enseñarnos tanto. Un saludo enorme desde España. You are very welcome, my friend. Greetings for people in Spain. I have a big friend that is Key. Let me check his handle. Just a second, please. Oh yes. So a big shout out for my friends from the Champions Club, and also for my friend that is making a lot of research on it, that he is also from Spain, that is KSR Warp. And okay, so where I stopped. Abdul, oh Marvin, oh AT, yes, hang loose my dude. Marvin, my brother, my little brother. Hob fart, yes, that guy is just beyond mental poverty, you know. Okay, so Abdul, simple, amazing, indeed, it is. Carrie Rodriguez, good stuff. Thanks, Houston. You are very welcome, my friend. Bruno Rodriguez, great content, my friend. Thank you so much. I am in my 20s and I want to be a trader. And got to say, you have a lot of good content. Great trader, one of the few in crypto. Thanks for your kind words. You are very young. I believe you are in the right path. And thanks for your support. Sabai, that's really good stuff. You're present here. You are very welcome, my friend. Thank you very much for your knowledge. Thank you. Butler, great content. I came late. I will have to watch again. No problem at all. You guys can check it later and also made your research and ask for everything. Okay? So, Blasta, enjoyed it. I'm glad to know. Carrie Rodriguez, no need for sorry, Houston. Excellent content, bro. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Bruno Rodriguez, 2 hours, very informative, great stuff. Thank you. You are very welcome, my friend. Sam, time flies when you have good time. Indeed, you saw it, it was just like 45 minutes and then whoa, 2 hours, almost 2 hours. That's mind blowing. Okay, so Myers, in regards to equities, according to the market cycle chart, would you be at complacence and about to go lower, or because of the summer solstice are we going to see new highs? So there is a thing. Just a second, please. Okay, so we have the first thing that we have to watch is the beginning of the next cycle, and we have an enemy, where I can say the name, but he has an infinite. He has a printing machine. Okay, so you guys know who I am talking about, and then sometimes it always end up in percentage. Okay, so for equities, like for example 25% retrace can be enough, because we know we don't have buyers and sellers. It's all about the same institutions making trades on top of it. So it's like it's a not natural market at all. So if it's not natural, we can expect a natural behavior. Okay, but we know for a fact that the solar schedule is being followed step by step. Okay, so it's something for us to keep watching, and I will keep updating, and yeah, we will keep watching for everything. So guys, I believe this is everything for now. I believe we covered a lot of things, and I would like to thank you for your time, for your patience. I know there is a lot of things to digest. There's a lot of info and data, and well, first thing I want to thank you for your support, for your time. You guys know I'm not doing this for attention, because I don't need it. I trade for a living. I do my own stuff, and but I want to thank you for your support and your time. Your time is precious. Okay. Yes, and again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, ring the bell for notifications. You help me, I help you. We exchange and we grow together. And guys, I hope this info helped you in some way or in any way. And I hope you guys have a great day or a great night. Stay safe out there. And always remember, everything who is made on top of emotions, we always end up in a bad way. Okay? Trust math, trust the numbers, trust the formulas, and you will be, and also trust God. Okay? I have my faith on top of everything else. Okay? And so this is it. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will try to be back in a few minutes because I have a lot of other things to cover. And this is it. Stay safe, please. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you again. Have an amazing day and a blessed day. Okay? See you.